Hey, everybody. Adam Jackson back for another podcast. This time I'm in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. On vacation? Not quite. I came here to do a bunch of things, kind of reset myself, get a break, do some weird medical treatments. So today's podcast is about kind of resetting emotionally, physically, getting yourself back in kind of fighting shape, which I was in dire need of. So I'm actually at a clinic here in Puerto Vallarta called RENUE. It's a regenerative medicine clinic. And it's something that I'll give you some background first. So some friends of mine found this place a while back and actually had come down for stem cell treatments and for various sports injuries and that kind of thing. In fact, the place was started by an American guy, former private equity guy named Steve, really to help older golfers like add years to their playing career through regenerative medicine, stem cell, that kind of thing. And this is a topic I've been interested in for many years. I've been frustrated I haven't been able to get this kind of treatment in the US. So I started doing diligence on this clinic called RENUE and eventually made an investment in it. So I'm a part owner of it now. Caveat, this is not a paid promotion, but I am part owner of this clinic now. And I just had a great week here. So I'm not here to like sell you on stem cells or anything like that. This is not promotional. For anyone who's not familiar, stem cells are like baby cells. You have a lot of them when you're a baby, and they haven't like picked an organ to be yet. So they can turn into nerve cells, they can turn into liver cells, muscle tissue, whatever. And having them infused is a way to help regenerate your body. So that's what's been interesting to me. I don't have any physical ailments, plenty of mental ones. But I came here, really just to try it out, but ended up getting so much more out of it. So stem cells, then when combined with something called hyperbaric oxygen treatment, which I'll show some pictures of, is actually really effective for regeneration. This is usually for older people, injured people, whatever. But as a relatively younger person, I thought it'd be an interesting experiment. For some reason, this is not legal in the US. I don't know exactly why. I hear pharma has spent quite a lot of money helping make sure that it stays that way. I don't know for sure. It doesn't really matter to me. But it is very, very important to mention. I'm going to get into the caveats here, but here's the first one. Like stem cells are good for a lot of things. They help lots of things in your body grow, including tumors. So if you have cancer, you should not do this. This clinic actually screens you for cancer. I don't think there's any like fully extensive way of screening someone for cancer, but like, they certainly do diligence on that, to make sure that there's not any obvious kind of cancerous tumors before coming down. So that's nice to do before you actually get on a plane. More caveats. I'm not a doctor, obviously. I did co-found Doctor On Demand, which is a large video telemedicine company, but I did not practice there because I'm not a doctor. Do your own research on stem cells. I'm also not a lawyer. I don't know the regulations that well. Do your own research there too. I am an investor in this clinic, as I said, along with several of my friends. Why? Because I believe in this mission. I believe that the power of regenerative medicine as a preventative domain of techniques is incredibly powerful for preventing chronic disease instead of, the cash machine in America that just makes money treating the chronic diseases. How about just prevent it? And, if you're an old golfer or an injured MMA fighter, this place could be helpful for you too. That's apparently a lot of the clients here. So, and then another thing I wanted to address was, sort of the stigma around offshore or, non-US medical facilities. I'm sure there are many horrible medical facilities all over the world, some of them in the US. US is pretty modern. Obviously, American medicine is the gold standard in the West, at least. They sure do like to treat expensive diseases in America, but obviously, our protocols and our technology and all that stuff is, saves millions of lives, and it's to be taken seriously. I've not been to any other offshore clinic. This clinic down here in Puerto Vallarta is the first one I've ever been to, and this place is as modern and up to speed and clean and professional as UCSF Benioff, where my kids were born, Marin General, where my daughter was born, the new Sutter behemoth in San Francisco, where my son had an operation. This place is on par with that. So the doctors here all spoke English perfectly, super friendly. They're using American standards, American equipment, American protocols. Downside, they don't take insurance. They don't take our American insurance here. This is cash pay. So that can be prohibitively expensive. Oh, and everything ran on time here. I guess it's because it's elective and you're paying cash. But literally, like, I came down here and I was like, you know what? If it's any of this bullshit where the doctor's 3 hours late, like I'm used to at home, I'm just getting back on the plane. I'm leaving. Not one bit. Like everything here, everyone did what they said they were going to do. There's an itinerary. It was awesome. So let's jump into the itinerary. I'll tell you like about my week here. So I arrived on Sunday. Today's Friday. So I've been here 5 nights. They picked me up from the airport, super easy. They have their own shuttle van. It's very nice. I stayed at a resort, which is like walking distance from here. I'm actually in the clinic's conference room right now. The resort was really nice. It's kind of ironic. It's called Marival District. It's an all-inclusive, which is ironic because I didn't eat or drink any alcohol this whole time. So they made a lot of money on me. I decided to fast. You don't have to do that. They didn't recommend it. It was something I read. When I asked them about it, the doctor said, yeah, I mean, it's not, some people think fasting helps with stem cell absorption or whatever, could be more effective. The data is not really there. So do it if you want. I decided to. I've actually never fasted before, I realized. So I went almost 4 days without eating. My first meal since Tuesday was this morning at breakfast. It was delicious. Anyway, so like fast or don't take my advice. But it was it actually added to the experience for me. So I'm just telling you about my experience. Also no alcohol, which, like that's a game changer for a lot of us. So anyway, here was my schedule. And what's really cool is the doctors will do like an intake, depending on how old you are and what you're trying to treat. Like if you've got knee problems or back problems or muscle issues or whatever, they can direct stem cell treatment at that. Because this is really it's built for athletes. I'm the opposite of an athlete. I sit in front of a computer all day. But I was looking for like cognitive enhancement and I don't know. I don't know what I was looking for. I was just fucking stressed out and burned out and just trying something new, right? So anyway, the doctors make an itinerary for you. I was here, I guess, so you fly Sunday. I was here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday were the treatment days. Friday, today, I'm flying back out. So I only have 4 days of treatments. I think that's the minimum you could do. A lot of people stay here much longer. But so Monday I started with an IV infusion of NAD plus and a bunch of vitamins. NAD, if you haven't heard of it, go watch the Huberman show about it. I watched like 50 Hubermans while I was here. It's like a enzyme that helps anti-aging or whatever. Bunch of vitamins, whatever. So they do that intravenously. First time I ever had an IV in my life, by the way. Scared to death of needles. And they were really good here. I mean, good at putting needles in you. And it was super easy and not stressful. And then you go into what's called hyperbaric oxygen therapy, HBOT. This is really cool. We'll show a picture of it. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy is you go into a chamber, they compress the air, they put you, it's like doing a dive, like a 10-meter dive, 30-foot dive. So they put pressure on you slowly. Obviously, it takes 15 minutes to get down. Then you breathe pure O2, and that gets into your bloodstream. And O2, helps kind of regenerate cells and help your metabolism. And it's supposed to be a multiplier effect on the intravenous things you're doing, whether it's the NAD plus vitamins or the stem cells. It's very relaxing. I really enjoy it. Doing that even without any IVs, I think, is beneficial. Also, there's nothing to do in there. So like, you could either like freak out and stare at the clock, or you can meditate and like think positively. That's what I did. And it was really helpful. So anyway, so Monday did the HBOT, NAD plus. On Tuesday, I came back for stem cells and another HBOT. Interestingly, the lab that they get stem cells for had some kind of issue and the stem cells weren't viable. And he showed me, the doctors showed me the chart of the printouts from the analysis, and they were like super polite and like felt bad about it and very honest and transparent, which is like, not always used to that in healthcare. Not that American doctors are dishonest or anything like that, but like a lot of times you just don't know what the hell's going on. And these guys were just like, hey, here it is. We are not going to infuse today. We'll try again tomorrow. And so no big deal, right? I freed up part of my day, still did the HBOT, came back Wednesday. Stem cells were great, did half the infusion. 120 million cells Wednesday, HBOT came back Thursday, same deal. Actually, and Thursday was cool. I got to meet an MMA fighter who was doing HBOT as well, presumably for occupational hazards. Really, really nice guy. So anyway, that was just a couple hours during the day, kind of like middle, like noon to 3, noon to 4, something like that. So I had all this other time on my hands. And so, I really wanted to make the most of it. So, you're not drinking, right? I mean, if you drink, you're just killing the stem cells. There's no point in doing it. Like come down here and go on a regular vacation, right? Don't waste your money on stem cells. So I'm, sleeping well and meditating and had this headspace where I was able to like solve hard problems I'd been thinking about. Ran on the beach. The beach here is really beautiful. Got a lot of exercise, running, that kind of stuff. Read a lot of like papers and watched videos. Like I mentioned, all these Huberman videos talking about how bad all the other things I do in my life are for me. So maybe that'll help me. A lot of creative thinking done. What I realized coming down here, to kind of wrap this up, coming down here was a forcing function for me to change a bunch of behaviors and get a little bit of alone time, reset my emotional state, get super healthy physically and mentally, learn lots of stuff. What my indulgence, like what I'm manic about is reading and learning things. Like it's like a habit or whatever. And I got to scratch that itch more than usual. And after 4 days, I mean, I feel as clear-headed and smart and energetic and, happy. My mood's way better. Like I showed up here Sunday, just totally fucking burned. And now it's Friday and I'm like, really, like I'm in the best shape I've ever been mentally and physically. And look, it could have been from any one of those things. I don't, this was not a controlled experiment, right? I mean, I doubt it's from stem cells. I mean, but stem cells take a while to set in. So we'll see, what that one is, but I'm sure, hyperbaric, meditating, running every day on the beach, like not drinking, fasting for 4 days. I've never done that before. It wasn't even that hard. Drank a lot of Diet Cokes. Maybe that's not good for you. I don't know. Anyway, so maybe there's like one or more of those things. Maybe it's the placebo effect of being in a regenerative medicine clinic. I don't know. But I do know the clinic was a phenomenal experience. This will be part of my, yearly regimen, I think. But it occurred to me, like, if you're watching this, you're probably like work in tech or you're an investor or, founder or CEO, whatever, like folks like us get burned quickly, not just us, everybody I think does. And, a lot of people want to, do something uncomfortable, right? Like get yourself out of your comfort zone. That was this for me. And it just paid off in spades. So, highly recommended. I don't think you need to go to the extremes. I don't think you need to do all of this down here. And I mean, I recommend it. It was great for me, but like, I think just a change of scenery and unplugging or whatever. And, it was really positive. That's why I was excited to share this experience. So, I'll wrap up with, I always give my notes to our chief of staff, Anne, who, is, very skeptical and potentially even cynical sometimes. And, calls the BS, potentially when she sees it. So she actually gave me a nice list of questions kind of preemptively. So I'm going to address those now because they're good questions. So she said, is there not one negative about this place? I mean, you haven't eaten in 4 days, so you're probably delusional. Yeah. Well, that being delusional from fasting is a feature, actually, not a bug. I felt great the whole time. Much more clear-headed, blah, blah, blah. And look, I mean, this place is what you make of it, right? This isn't the Four Seasons in Lanai, right? It's a nice place. I'm not sure this is like the destination for you for a family vacation, but like if you're going to get some alone time or whatever, and certainly going to visit this clinic, it's awesome. Everything looks great. Everyone's friendly. The exchange rate is killer to pesos right now in dollars. But I mean, okay, like what was suboptimal? I don't know. Like it's hot. It's like 93 and humid here. I like that weather because I don't live in it. If you don't like that weather, you're not going to like it. I'd stay out of the water. The water's like in the 90s here, the ocean. And there were like crazy poisonous pufferfish washing up on shore. I saw like 4 or 5 of them. If you come in contact with one of those, like you're going to be back at this fucking hospital and not getting stem cells. So I'd stay out of the water. But anyway, like it was super friendly, safe. I liked it. Like not really anything negative. Next one from Anne was, what prompted you to do this? Was it spontaneous? Was it from a health issue? How long did you prepare for it? What problems are you trying to solve? I think I probably talked about some of this already, but like the problem was burnout. I was just emotionally spent. It's been a hard year or so in crypto. And I was lacking mental clarity, lacking motivation. I have also been reading about stem cell treatment for years. I love this kind of stuff. I'm not like a health nut really, but like I do own a winery and drink a lot of wine. So I'm always like, hey, how should I think about counteracting that behavior? And, and anti-aging is just I don't want to live forever. I don't care about that, but like living better longer, right, has always been interesting to me. So heard about this place. Like I said, a couple of my friends had a great experience down here. If they had not had that experience, there's no way I would have bothered with this. And so I did a bunch of diligence on the clinic, made the investment a few months ago, and then finally came down. So, and then Anne said, I would imagine this is a problem other founders might struggle with: anxiety, inability to shut off. Was this worth the time, money, blah, blah, blah. I mean, for sure, this problem is endemic with founders. You don't have to get IV stem cells, to do this. And if you get, a lot of people get anxiety of leaving their team or whatever, unplugging for a week. I do too. I would never unplug for a week, ever, ever, ever. I mean, my co-founder Gabe and I went to Patagonia last year with a bunch of guys, and I brought like satellite phones and Wi-Fi hotspots. Like, there's no way I can be offline. But so you don't have to, right? So internet works great down here. Like, do email and whatever for your first few hours, and then carve out lots of time for yourself. So anyway, wrapping it up, big thanks to the team here at RENUE. Incredibly knowledgeable, friendly, professional. Everybody here was awesome. It was an incredible experience. I speak Spanish roughly at a 4-year-old's level, and none of that was even necessary on this trip. I tried and was laughed at. So anyway, go to their website if you want to learn more, renue.healthcare. Again, not a paid promotion. I'm just saying what my experience was. It was awesome. And if you want to get connected directly with the team, DM me or whatever. So again, not medical, investing, legal, or life advice, just telling you something that I loved. Thanks for listening. Take care.